Just a little test here. Let's see. All right, give everybody a few minutes. Okay, just testing out some new equipment here. Thank you, sir. All right, let's see what we got. All right, so I might as well add some value being MedicareBob for customers as we're going into annual enrollment period. So it's the end of August. So something that you should be looking out for is your ANOC notice, your annual notice of change that will come from your Medicare Advantage and or your Part D provider. That ANOC notice will cover the different benefits that you have now that will be changing for 2023. So it's important. You're going to start seeing, as a Medicare beneficiary age, you're going to start seeing a lot of commercials, getting a lot of stuff in the mail about the 2023 plans. And I think what a lot of people do is they fail to take a full understanding of how their plan is going to change for 2023. So the first step of shopping your plan for 2023 is make sure you understand the changes that are coming to your plan. If you have any questions, whether you're a client or another broker, please feel free to leave it in the chat. This is my first YouTube live video, just kind of messing around, testing it out. And but while I'm here, if there's any value that I can provide, I'm happy to do that. So my first tip as we go into annual enrollment period for clients is make sure you understand the changes coming to your plan for 2023, because you're going to see a lot of commercials and stuff now on TV. They're going to talk about how their plans are changing. So it's important that you understand your plan so you can properly compare. And again, you're going to get those ANOC notices by the end of September. So you're going to start getting them here next week. And you are required by CMS to receive your ANOC notice from your carrier by the end of September. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop in the chat. So understanding your plan as a client's important. Some changes coming to prescription drugs in a good way. So look for that. So far, all of the plan previews are showing lower drug costs, especially for insulin. I've seen some sneak peeks into some of the larger carriers' Medicare Advantage and Part D plans. A lot of them are going to add the Flex card in most areas to the Medicare Advantage space. That's been successful for some of the carriers, so it's a copycat league. So we're seeing the carriers add that, which is a huge benefit for people. Again, we're seeing lower drug costs on Medicare Advantage and Part D. Something that a lot of consumers don't know is if you have a Medigap plan or Medicare supplement, those words are interchangeable. They mean the same thing: Plan F, Plan G, Plan N, high deductible G, high deductible F. Those are all the federally regulated Medicare supplement plans. Annual enrollment really doesn't impact you. You're actually allowed to shop your supplement all year long. Very few people, not very few people, but a lot of people have a misunderstanding of that. They think that annual enrollment's when they have to shop their supplement plan, but you could shop your supplement right now. You could just call your broker or call a carrier and you could shop their plan right now for your supplement. Where it does impact you is if you have a supplement, you most likely have a drug plan. And if you have a drug plan, you'll get your ANOC notice before the end of September. So understand what's changing in your plan, and then you can shop your plan. You can do that with a broker. You can do that with Medicare.gov. You just really simple. You type in your prescriptions, and either a broker or Medicare can show you which drug plan is the right one for you. Things to look for in a drug plan to make sure it's the right one for you. If you are in the market for a Part D, is you want to check putting your medications in. So you want to check cost. Well, whenever you're looking at cost, remember, it's not just premium. Okay. It's going to be your total estimated annual cost. So it's going to be your premium, your out-of-pocket copays, what tiers your prescriptions fall in will impact your copays. You want to look to make sure that if you don't have, there's something, control measurements that carriers have on drug plans, step therapy. Okay. That means that you might be taking a prescription, but if you change your drug plan, that carrier might require you to try a different prescription before they allow you to try, be on that. Usually you're on a more expensive med. The carrier wants you to try a less expensive med to see if it does the job for a couple months. That's called step therapy before they let you get the expensive one. So, when you change, don't just think about only cost, think about that convenience. Because if your current plan doesn't have step therapy and you change, you have to go through step therapy. That can be a hassle. Quantity limits are important, especially if you're on any narcotics or painkillers. There's a lot of quantity limits on those for 2023. So make sure that if you're switching plans, that you just double check that you are not going over the quantity requirements for the prescription on the drug plan. But don't just look at premium. Don't just go for a $12 or $13 drug plan. Make sure you put in your prescriptions, evaluate your copays, evaluate your costs. That's going to be really important when choosing your drug plan. When you're looking at Medicare Advantage, make sure, same thing, put in your prescriptions and double check step therapy, check quantity limits. Also, another control carriers use for prescription drugs, and even with Medicare Advantage plans, it's called prior authorizations. So make sure that you are good there. See anything else for AP? Any questions so far? And again, this is my first YouTube live video. I just kind of wanted to see if my equipment worked, so I won't be too long. Let's see here. Okay, one question is, when should I start comparing my plan? So again, you're going to get your ANOC notice by the end of September, and the carriers are required to send them out in September, and to where you are required to receive them. So that's when you're going to see the changes to your current plan, as if you just renewed for next year. As far as when you can shop and when you can change, October 1st is when the new plans are published. And that's when agents, brokers, and clients have access to all the plans, and you can shop and compare. So starting October 1st, you can shop and compare. However, you can't actually submit for a different plan until October 15th. And that's the annual election or annual enrollment period. And you can actually start submitting those October 15th. And the last day to submit that is December 7th. And just remember, December 7th is the last day to submit, but any plan you submit between October 15th and December 7th will be taking effect January 1st. And how do you cancel? Another question is, how do you cancel your Part D or Medicare Advantage? By submitting the new application. So if you have a Part D plan or a Medicare Advantage plan, and you submit a new Part D or a new Medicare Advantage plan, then as long as you submit that application before December 7th, that will automatically cancel out your current plan effective January 1st. All right, Rich has a question. When does Social Security look at income to determine the cost of Medicare monthly? It's a great question. So it's actually typically about a 2-year look back, which is frustrating, right? Because some of us were in our higher income producing years, our last couple of years in our career, and we retire, and that changes our income, obviously. But so Medicare traditionally automatically will look back 2 years ago on your income. So now you might have an IRMAA charge. But Rich, you could actually contest that with Social Security. So there's a form you can fill out on Social Security's website, or you might as well just go down to the Social Security office if you can, and you could actually tell them you had a life-changing event to your income, which is that you retired. And I've had a lot of clients that originally were going to be charged an IRMAA penalty, or it's not a penalty, technically, it's an adjustment. But if you're paying more for Medicare, I would call that a penalty. So because of your income, they're going to do 2-year look back. So if you go down to Social Security and show them, look, I retired, my income's not projected to be the same, then you can actually protest that and pay the normal amount for Medicare typically. So I hope that helps. That will save you some money if you can do that. Now, if your portfolio and stuff's still going to pay you over the required amount, then you're still going to have that IRMAA adjustment, unfortunately. Okay, and that also affects your Part D as well. Yeah. Rich, I'm paying double, but the form required a letter. So were you not able to get the letter from your employer, or that's what they required, is a letter? You can't just show them that you're now, I guess, like a letter of like an exit letter that you don't work there anymore. Yeah, that's interesting. But yeah, I have clients that pay the IRMAA, and that's a topic for another day. Yeah, it is weird. I would just double check that you're speaking to the right person, Social Security too. But hopefully, I think it's worth the effort, though. I mean, that's going to save you $150 a month roughly. So I would try to get that letter from a letterhead. I mean, hopefully your HR, was it a big company or a small company that you worked at? Oh, cool. Yeah. So that's cool. So Rich shared, like, if they do charge you the IRMAA and then you can prove it, it sounds like they'll give you a credit or a refund for Medicare afterwards. So that's good. Boeing. Yeah. Okay. Oh, wow. Good for you, man. Yeah. So you should get a letter from HR, and they should be able to adjust. If you don't mind, here, let me put my email in the chat, because how things work and how things should work and how things do work sometimes are two different things, as we know with the government. So if you don't mind, I'm going to put you my email address in the chat. It's bob@medicarebob.com. If you just could be so kind, Rich, maybe shoot me an email of the result so that I can share with the rest of the world on how that goes as far as you actually getting the credit and the refund. I appreciate that, Rich. Thanks. So, Rich, you're new to Medicare. When did your Part B start, and do you have an Advantage or a supplement plan? I got to find out how to bring people maybe on video too. That'd be cool. Sorry, I'm talking to my production guy. Supplement, good choice. And what state are you in? If you don't mind, sorry. Retired in 2020. Okay, so you probably got a Plan G then, I'm guessing. Texas, great choice. Plan G should be the one I would go with in Texas. Does that ring a bell? Okay. Hopefully, I know you probably have Plan G or N. I would say I still like G better than N. You don't have to worry about the copays or the Part B excess charges. So yeah, Plan G, great choice. Now, if you've had it for 2 years, okay, look, what carrier do you have? Mind me asking? Maybe for YouTube Live, I'm talking to my production guy. Maybe I'll start like shopping people's supplements for them online. That'd be interesting. I'm not set up to do that right now, but because I know he's, I could tell him right now. I could tell Rich here if he has the best price or not. Yeah, Plan G is the way to go. You can shop that now. I know in Texas, Aflac's coming out with a Medicare supplement Plan G. That's going to be competitive. Ascendo, which is Aetna, has a very competitive Plan G. Remember, look, I love Blue Cross. I love United Healthcare, but I don't know if that's who you have, but make sure you shop that. Okay, got you. Cool. Yeah, Aetna, great choice. Yeah, that's probably what. Next time I go live, I think I'm going to have my quoting tool pulled up. Cost through. Yeah. So, Rich, that's right. So, for anyone that's watching, group insurance. The only reason why, because sorry, if you saw the comment, the cost through Boeing were too high. That's correct. So, group insurance is never going to be almost never is going to be never going to be cost effective as going to Medicare and getting either an Advantage plan or a supplement. Group insurance there's not an incentive for the employer to offer people great coverage at a great price that don't work there anymore, right? What's their incentive? Now, their incentive when they hire you is, hey, we have a retirement option for you, and before you make that decision before you're on Medicare. So you're thinking, great, I have an option for retirement. Most of the time in our 30s, 40s, and 50s, when we're making an employment decision, we're not really thinking what happens when I go on Medicare. It's just nice that they're going to have a retirement option for me at the company. But the reality is, the only time, in my experience, most of the time, the only time you should keep your retirement or group coverage is if you have a dependent that is on that plan. Because 99 out of 100 times, if you have group employer coverage, you'll be able to get more cost-effective coverage for less money by dropping the retirement plan or group insurance and going to Medicare and either getting a Medicare supplement drug plan route or getting a Medicare Advantage plan. Those are both going to be more cost-effective options 99 out of 100 times. And that's real stats, helped over 500,000 people with Medicare. You're always going to do almost always. Now, if you have a spouse that's dependent on your group insurance, then and they don't have access to any other type of coverage, you're most likely better off keeping your group until your spouse or your dependent's on Medicare as well. Yep. Yeah. So it sounds like, Rich, you went through that exactly. That's why you had to wait to get them through ACA. Yep. Nope, dude, you've made a lot of good decisions, man. Yeah, you did a lot of research or you worked with a good broker because everything that you're going through is exactly what I would advise. You have a IRMAA penalty, so you're going to fight that and get a refund. You have dependents on your plan, so you're getting them set up so they have ACA. And you went on Medicare supplement Plan G. Part D, who do you have for Part D? Do you have WellCare? Okay. All right. My production guy says I just got a couple minutes left. But yeah, so make sure. So, Rich, what you can do for your Part D is you can shop your Part D in October. Huh? No. Oh, it's included in your Boeing plan right now. Oh, all right. So Plan G does not include drug coverage. Just FYI. So if you choose a supplement plan and you have a drug plan, they're going to be separate. Now they both might be with Aetna, but you should have two different cards. You're going to have your Medigap Medicare supplement card, and then you're going to have your Part D PDP prescription drug card. They're actually separate. Yeah. So that's cool. I mean, as long as you're happy with the drug plan, that's fine. But there's nothing wrong, just so you know, by you could have an Aetna Medicare supplement and you could have a Cigna drug plan or whatever drug plan. They don't have to be with the same company. Normally, you pay your prescription drug costs out of your yeah, perfect. Changing it. Sounds like you're not happy with it. So, Rich, you seem pretty affluent. So you could go to Medicare.gov starting October 1st and just go to find plan, and you can go into drug coverage. Or honestly, Rich, I gave you my email address. If you email me your prescriptions on October 1st, it's a free service, man. I'm not trying to sell you anything. But I can go through and I can email you which drug plan would save you the most amount of money. But I mean, again, it's something that consumers can do on their own too. They can just go to Medicare.gov, go to find plan, put in your zip code, put in your prescriptions. But there's just a couple things brokers are good at looking out for. Cost is one of them, but like I mentioned earlier in the video, step therapy, quantity limits, stuff like that. Yeah. Oh, okay. Be careful. If are you thinking about switching to MA, Medicare Advantage? Because we offer both. So I'm not anti Medicare Advantage, but I think it's important that there's certain things that people know about Advantage plans. Okay, good for you. Okay. Yeah. So and again, I'm not, if you have an Advantage plan, you're watching this, Medicare Advantage plans are great options for people. There's nothing wrong with them. But there are some risks that you have. If you go from a supplement to an Advantage plan and then you later want to upgrade to a supplement, you have to medically qualify, because the only time that you're automatically approved is either when you first turn 65 or you're brand new to Medicare. So yeah, Rich, hey, look, not to sell you. We have all the top companies. So if you'd like my help, email me at bob@medicarebob.com and I'll personally help you. I won't send you off to one of my agents, although I've got great agents, but I do a lot of stuff, but my favorite thing is still helping people. A lot of times, we can get you maybe that Aetna Plan G for $20, $30, or $40 less, and then make sure we get you on a drug plan that's going to save you money and not give you any of the restrictions that you have to deal with. Cool. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Okay. Let's see here. Last question. Okay. All right. The donut hole. So yeah. So a couple of years ago, they published some legislation that the donut hole is being has been terminated. You're still paying more prescriptions based on the level of your drug costs if you have expensive prescriptions, but so far it looks like they're reducing it again for next year, so that's a positive sign. And then obviously now Medicare, with the new legislation that just passed last week, is Medicare is going to be able to start negotiating prescription drug costs. Now it's not going to have an impact on next year, but there's already been some things that have happened with insulin that are going to affect next year. But I'm excited because over the next 5 years, I think we're going to see the it's free market where Medicare and stuff can negotiate on drugs. I think that's going to be a good thing. So, all right, I'm being waved off. So I tested the equipment. Rich, man, I thank you for being so responsive and man, this is like my favorite thing to do, is to help people get in the right situation. So my ask of you is let me know, make sure you get that refund from the government, so I can, that's experience that I can share with everybody else. But thanks for watching. This is my first YouTube live video, so hopefully I have more to come as we get all this figured out. So thanks everybody. Hope have a great rest of your day.